when I opened that door, something important happened. I wanted to go again. You ever think the universe is against you?
Cloud Atlas, rated R, in theaters and IMAX, October 26th.
Yeah, you know, we're in for a really, really wonderful week of movies, not when I don't even bother to do an intro, and, yeah, this week is definitely not worthy of that. So, welcome to Time About the Movies. Today, we are taking a look at the 4 films that make up October 26, 2012. And we are starting off with our first movie here, Cloud Atlas, a movie that you know has its head so far of its own ass, when it literally begins with Tom Hanks basically saying, literally saying, you know, once I opened that door, something important happened. No, nothing important happened, Tom, except that you and Halle Berry and half the cast of this movie wasted your goddamn time on this pretentious piece of garbage. Cloud Atlas, based off the novel by David Mitchell, it features multiple plots occurring during 6 eras and features an ensemble cast who perform multiple roles across these time periods. This is directed by the Wachowskis, who gave us, of course, The Matrix and Speed Racer, and this is also directed by Tom Twyker, who also gave us Perfume, The Story of a Murderer, and The International. So, a collaboration between the two of them, and a cast that also includes Jim Broadbent, Jim Sturgis, Ben Whishaw, Hugo Weaving, Susan Sarandon, Keith David, Hugh Grant. So there are some notable people in the movie. The problem is they're not really given any goddamn thing to do in this movie. This is an extremely, extremely pretentious piece of garbage because there is no storyline whatsoever that you get invested in. This film is such a mess of a film. It's a sloppy film from the story to the ideas of the movie. You're sitting here for 3 goddamn hours, and you have no idea what the hell you're even doing here. I mean, that's how bad this movie is. I mean, it's so bad I have to adjust the camera to tell you about it, but yeah, you get the idea. This movie is an unbelievable mess of a film, and it's the type of movie that is for the pretentious people, because it has such a polarizing opinion from most people. Some people think of it as one of the year's best films, and one of the people think it's one of the worst films of the year. I'm in that latter category because, yeah, this thing makes no sense whatsoever. Nothing interesting happens in this movie. There are much better movies that have sort of a similar idea that are much better than this pile of garbage. What this movie reminded me of, honestly, was there was a Robin Williams movie back in the 1990s called Being Human, which we did when that movie came out. It had the same idea to it. Had a much similar idea to it, and I thought worked better, but still wasn't a great movie overall. I mean, having this one actor playing all these different characters through different time periods, and it has the same problems with this movie here. You know, it doesn't have an idea of what's the overall message here. Like, what are we supposed to get across from this? And yeah, in this film, we don't really get that here. It's just, here's all these big actors playing all these various roles. Like, you're watching an extended episode of Saturday Night Live that's even unfunnier than the current era of Saturday Night Live. Well, technically. Okay, the last couple seasons were not that great, but I've actually heard this season that's going on right now, season 51, is actually not that bad, but I don't know, I haven't been watching it yet, but you get the idea. It's a movie that feels like it has its head so far of its own butt, and it just completely misses the point of entertainment value. Like, I mean, they gave the Wachowskis $150 million for this. Like, it's amazing what one movie success will do to these filmmakers, where, you know, you make a big success and then Warner Brothers just writes you a blank check for whatever you want to do, because after this they would later do Jupiter Ascending, and we all know how great that was. Not, but yeah. Cloud Atlas, I think you get the point here. It's a really, really, really bad film. And trust me, we're going to get to a lot of bad films because, like I said, this is a bad week of films. Case in point, our next movie, Silent Hill Revelation.
Silent Hill Revelation. It's just a dream. The only thing more terrifying than her nightmares, they're coming, is discovering. Oh, you all right? That they're real.
You did this. How can it be me?
This Halloween,
The darkness is coming. Run!
prepare for a 3D ride
Don't be afraid.
through hell. Silent Hill Revelation 3D, rated R.
And there's the only reason this movie even exists, because everyone's on the 3D craze. And yeah, this is a completely unnecessary sequel to a movie that, to its credit, was one of the better video game adaptations. It at least felt like the Silent Hill video games. This does not. In this story, you have Heather Mason, now played by Adelaide Clemens, who is discovering on the eve of her 18th birthday that her presumed identity is false and is drawn to the town of Silent Hill. And so we go back to Silent Hill, and yeah, we basically get a compilation hit list of everything from the Silent Hill games, so people can make the argument that, see, it's a video game adaptation, it's based off the video game, look at all the stuff we threw in there. Okay, you still don't have a goddamn story to tell. Like, I don't care who you throw in there. You want to throw the guy from Game of Thrones, Kit Harington, in here? That's fine. You want Martin Donovan in there? That's fine. Malcolm McDowell? Sure, he'll do anything for a paycheck. Carrie-Anne Moss? She's relevant. Deborah Kara Unger, Sean Bean, Rhoda Mitchell. Like, nobody in this movie gave a fuck whatsoever. Whoever this company is that made this movie, I hope they must have a lot of money, because there is no reason to believe that anyone went into this movie thinking that they were going to have something amazing here. No, the studio wanted a 3D horror film. A 3D horror film because the trend was still popular at the time, so they looked to see what popular horror film from the past couple of years was still relevant. And someone said, how about Silent Hill? We got a movie, let's go. And yeah, some people might give it credit for the way that it adds in elements to the video game, but I'm sorry, there's no story here to this movie that makes it worthy. This is not a good movie. This is a lackluster film overall, and just as a prime definition of what happens when you take a video game series and hire people that have no interest whatsoever in making a good video game movie, or a studio that has no interest in making a good video game movie based off the source material. I mean, we're still in that time period, folks, where we're getting all these bad video games one by one. We haven't gotten to the point where we're getting to the video game movie revolution later in the decade, where people finally get the idea of how to take these video games and actually make good movies out of them. And the movie that comes out next weekend might be the indication of the things to come with that, because you got a movie that's not based off of a video game, but features a ton of video game characters, but we'll save that for next week. But Silent Hill Revelation, yeah, it'd be a revelation if you don't bother with this movie. So with all of that said, let's get to easily the worst movie of the weekend. And it doesn't seem like that at all, but, you know, Nickelodeon trying to create a super bad comedy for the family audiences, with one of its stars, Victoria Justice, one of the hottest young stars who was starring in Suburgatory at the time, Jane Levy. And, yeah, it's a mess of a movie. Let's talk about Fun Size.
Halloween. All the lamos come to school in costumes. Watch it. It's like they have a bat signal. Aaron Riley is crazy hot. You got the invite to his party tonight, right? I noticed you and I are listed in the top 200. I think it's alphabetical. Oh my god, he's coming over.
You're coming to the party, right?
We will definitely be there.
I've been waiting for this my
It's all
whole
falling
life.
into place. Invited to Aaron Riley's party, costume figured out. As for April, I'm betting Sexy Kitty. Which just leaves my little brother, Albert! Gross. Whatever. For once, he's not my problem. Oh no, I forgot to tell you. You're gonna watch Albert tonight. No, Mom, the party! Don't do this to me! I love you, thank you, you're welcome.
Fuck you, Chelsea Handler. Yeah, that's what I'd be saying to her if she was my mother. I don't care if she would be my mother, but fuck you for putting that burden on me, because you knew that I was going to this... Because you knew I'd be going to this party, and you're going to throw this at the 11th hour with me? Like, no, seriously, go fuck yourself. I'm sorry. Like, I know that's not something you should say to your parents, but I'm sorry. If that was my parents, and they threw that on me at the 11th hour, I would be pissed off, but... Not this movie. No. We got to do this because we need to have our own like I said, we need to have our own super bad comedy that, you know, we can take the families to, and that's part of one of the major problems with the movie. You've got a film that stars Victoria Justice from iCarly and Victorious, and she plays this girl whose Halloween plans go awry when she's made to babysit her brother who disappears into a sea of trick-or-treaters. With her best friend, played by Jane Levy, and two nerds at her side, she needs to find her brother before her mom finds out he's missing. So, We're not only taking the concept of adventures in babysitting, but we're also taking the concept of sleepover and license to drive. These adventures that take place, and Superbad, these adventures that take place over the course of one night. And this movie is atrocious. Let me tell you people something. I've only walked out of 4 movies in my lifetime. 2 of them were The Spirit and Aliens in the Attic in 2019. And I can't remember what was the other one I walked out. I don't know, because I walked out of 2 other ones, and now I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I've talked about it before on this channel. But this movie pissed me off because it was so offensively bad and just insulting. I almost walked out of the theater. This is the second movie I've almost walked out of in the last 2 years. The other one was Big Mama's Like Father Like Son, but I didn't because the movie ended before I could get out of there. This movie is awful. This is a terrible, terrible movie. You've got these talented young stars in Victoria Justice, and especially Jane Levy. Suburgatory is a show that not a lot of people really know about. It was on for only about 3 seasons, but it was really good. It was a really funny show, and nobody watched it, which is just... It's a shame, because the show really was really funny, and, you know, I loved her on that show, but, I'll save her for just a second, because she needs to be talked about how bad she is in this film, but, you know, Victoria Justice... She's like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez. Yeah, they're best known for their stuff on Disney and Nickelodeon, but if you give them good film material to work with, you can get a good rising star out of it. You know, we talked about it with Selena Gomez. You know, Monte Carlo wasn't a great movie, but, you know, she had good, you know, Hotel Transylvania gave her an opportunity to actually show off her acting abilities, and it did work out in the film's favor. She was really good, and she is actually, you know, she's one of the more memorable characters in the series. Like, I was feeling the same way about Victoria Justice. You know, her series had come to an end. It's time for her to branch out and prove to everybody that she can actually act. You know, Zac Efron did that once he left High School Musical with 17 Again and Me and Orson Welles. And he's done the smart thing by branching out into indie films. And here, she's not really given a whole lot to do here. She's given a lackluster script. But, you know, I was really hopeful that she could make that transition like Zac Efron did. And, you know, these other actors we talked about. But sadly, she never really did. She just kind of faded out into existence, went back into mostly doing music and all that, but yeah, it's a shame because there was a lot of potential with her. But Jane Levy, let's get back to her for a second because, like I said, really funny show, Suburgatory, which is basically kind of the live-action equivalent of Daria, pretty much. And I love Daria, but like on Suburgatory, she plays like this shy bookworm, but she's much smarter than most of the other people are that live in this new neighborhood that she moved into. But in here, oh my god, it's the complete opposite with her. Like, I did not feel like she fit this role at all. Like, I'm not saying that she could never be this role in a movie like this, but, like, doing it early in your career, because she was still very early on in her career, this is taking it too far. And I don't like the fact that she basically plays every stereotypical teenage best friend that we've seen in all these bad teenage movies. And, yeah, and Chelsea Handler, like I said, like, I hate this woman. I hate her. Not as a person, but just as an actress and a comedian, because she is not funny. She's annoying. She's a bitch. She's never made me laugh whatsoever. Like, Rebel Wilson at least made me laugh a couple of times, but Chelsea Handler, I don't know what her problem is with her comedy, because it's just not funny whatsoever what she does here. And, like, in this movie, like, she's not funny in here at all. Like, there's nothing about her that made me laugh. I don't find her funny. Like, I don't think it's a problem to say that I don't find people funny. I don't like people with that act. Like, I have my problems with Mila Jovovich, and I have my problems with Chelsea Handler as a comedian. She fucking sucks, plain and simple. And also, the film just feels like a bad ripoff of a CW show. This is a Nickelodeon movie that's trying to rip off the CW, for God's sakes. Like, it's a bad CW show expanded to 2 hours, but then again, this is the creator of Gossip Girl, Josh Schwartz, who directed this movie. So yeah, it makes sense that this feels like a bad CW project. Like, it tries way too hard to be raunchy and crude, too. Like, it feels miserably at it. There's literally a point in the film where the film is literally doing nothing but saying dirty words, saying naughty, saying like the swear word after swear word after swear word. Like a 15-year-old who's just discovered these words wrote this. Like, it's so badly done. It's the equivalent of somebody juggling a keychain in front of you, except the keychain is swear words all around. Like, it's just like, but again, the biggest problem with the film overall is that it's taking a lot from other movies. The story is a ripoff of Adventures in Babysitting. Adventures in Babysitting is much better than this pile of garbage. And that was a PG-rated movie in 1987. It was a darker film. Not darker, like, extremely. But the comedy in there was darker, but it still fit the mold of a PG-rated family film. People still remember Adventures in Babysitting. Nobody remembers this pile of garbage. And on top of that, this movie has the nerve to rip off Project X with its terrible poster. I mean, just look at these posters. Look at these posters. Like, it's every single character in this feels like carbon copies of characters we've seen in 1,000,000,006 other teenage movies. And it just offended me so much because of how lazy this was. You wasted all these young talents. You tried to be way too raunchy and crude for your own good. It feels much longer than it actually was. And it's being handled by poor direction by someone who's just stick to television. This is right up there with some of the worst movies I've seen this year. Battleship, Won't Back Down. You have to be that special to be as terrible as Battleship. I mean, that's how much I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. It's a terrible movie. Avoid fun size like the plague. Plain and simple. So why don't we go ahead and wrap our show up with at least the best movie of the week, which really isn't saying a whole lot. This is Chasing Mavericks.
Got hold your breath for 4 minutes. You can die out there. I'll hold my hand.
Come on. You gonna slay that dragon all by yourself?
Chasing Mavericks, based on a true story, ABG.
Honestly, the most impressive thing about this movie isn't even the story, which is actually pretty interesting, but the behind-the-scenes things with this movie, too. We'll get to that in just a second, but this is the story of a real-life surfing phenomenon, Jay Moriarty, played by Johnny Weston, who, when 15 years old, he discovers that the mythic Mavericks surf break, one of the biggest waves on Earth, is not only real, but exists just miles from his Santa Cruz home. He enlists the help of a former local legend, Frosty Henson, played by Gerard Butler, to train him to survive it. As Jay and Frosty embark on their quest to accomplish the impossible, they form a unique friendship that transforms both their lives, and their quest to tame Mavericks becomes about far more than surfing. So what's interesting about this movie is that there's 2 directors on here, and 2 notable directors, Michael Apted and also Curtis Hanson. We've talked about a bunch of their movies on here. So what happened was that Curtis Hanson was the one director they had for this, and then Apted was brought in for the final 15 days of shooting because of Hanson's failing health, and it was actually the last film he directed before he passed away in 2016. And it was the second to last film for director Michael Apted before he died in 2021. So these directors are no longer with us. And you have a cast that also includes Elizabeth Shue, Abigail Spencer, and Levin Rabin. I think I pronounced that name correctly, but this movie isn't anything that special overall. It's an interesting story overall, but compared to the other movies we looked at here, this is like Citizen Kane compared to like stuff like Fun Size and Silent Hill Revelation, a movie that I still can't get the title for. I keep thinking it's Revolution, but no, it's Revelation and Cloud Atlas. I mean, this one is definitely the one that's at least trying. Almost works. The performances overall aren't terrible. In fact, I think this is one of Gerard Butler's probably best performances outside of stuff like 300 and How to Train Your Dragon. But yeah, other than that, though, this movie really isn't anything that amazing overall. Even if you're into the whole surfing craze, there's much better surfing movies out there. Like Soul Surfer is one I can think of that's actually really good. It's one we talked about last year, which was really, really good. This one kind of almost gets there, but not enough for me to say it's worth a watch. I mean, if you really want to check it out, a one-time watch might be the best thing for you. Had to get that in there before I started sneezing, because I like sneezed 4 times after that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that for a one-time watch, I think it's fine, but you're never going to want to watch it again after this. It's okay. It's an okay movie. Nothing great, nothing spectacular, but you felt like there was so much more on the table with a film like this. Plus, I mean, I guess for curiosity's sake, if you want to see the last thing Curtis Hanson directed and one of Michael Apted's last films, I think it makes it kind of worth it on that level. But like I said, it's a one-time watch. You're never going to want to watch this again after that. So, anyway, that's Chasing Mavericks. Not a great movie, but hey, it beats the crap out of the other 3 movies we've taken a look at today. I mean, goddamn, I thought we were past the dumping weeks of the year, but I guess not. That was a horrible week of movies overall, but it's okay. It's like watching the end of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and like the classic Don Bluth movies. You've gotten through the worst part of it all. Now you can go on to greener pastures with a happy ending here, because we are getting into award season time. We're getting past the Halloween. That means the movies that the studios believe in are back again, and we're starting off with some good ones here, including Disney's latest animated feature, the aforementioned Wreck-It Ralph. Video game it's a video game adaptation that's not really a video game adaptation, but features a ton of video game characters. And it's funny I bring up Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because it is kind of the Roger Rabbit of video game movies, because they pack in a ton of cameos from different video games that we'll touch on the next episode. We also have Denzel Washington teaming up with Robert Zemeckis for his latest film, Flight, which is a nice return to form for him, Robert Zemeckis, but hey, you can never go wrong with having Denzel Washington in your movie. And then we have the RZA, the Wu-Tang Clan, the rest of the Wu-Tang Clan aren't there, but the RZA directs the movie, The Man with the Iron Fist. So we'll take a look at these 3 movies that'll be coming up tomorrow on the show, so stay tuned for that. But with all of that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.